So if we're talking early season walleye tactics, a lot of people don't think about pulling crankbaits, and it's a real mistake. I can think of a couple different walleye openers in the state of Minnesota where I'm from, where we've literally pounded fish on crankbaits right off the bat, and it can be in a lot shallower water than you might expect. So it's important to start thinking about covering water even early in the season, not just in the summertime, because so often as you look behind me, you can see all these reed beds. Earlier, a lot of those fish were up in there, you know, doing the deed spawning and whatnot. Now they're starting to move off to kind of these flats just off the edge of it, and so often they're chasing schools of shiners. So what we've got is a situation, we've got a long run of these reeds, the wind's piling into them. It's just a perfect early season strategy to pull baits up and down this break line, up and down this edge, and look for some of those pods of shiners. Turn on your side imaging, look for walleyes, and so often as is the case, you'll find them, and then you just got to decide, do I want to catch them with crankbaits, or are they concentrated in small enough, tight enough pods where we can throw different baits at them. So when we're breaking down this spring tactic or this early season tactic of long line trolling, we got to start thinking about components and how we're going to get baits in front of fish's mouths. And I think the first place to start is with the bait itself. And right here we've got a Northland Rumble Series shiner, and the shiner is a perfect early season bait. It's that profile that those fish are looking for. It's what they're eating. It's what they're chasing up against these edges of weeds. And so finding that profile is the first part of the win. But the cool part about it too is the balsa and the way that this bait just looks and presents so naturally throughout the water. And to really accentuate that, I think a snap is important. You see that larger elongated split ring, that along with the snap really gives that bait maximum travel side to side. And so in clear water systems, I run a fluorocarbon leader, and really I've only got about a 6-footer here. And then eventually I take that to a braid, to a hard line, and I think braid is really nice to be able to feel. So often in these spring scenarios, you're bumping into some cover, you might hit a little bit of emergent weed growth. It's nice to be able to feel, and really that's what that hard line is all about. And if you work your way all the way down to the reel side of things, well, a line counter is great to be able to reproduce any of your winning trolling combinations. So if I know I got bit at 60 feet with this bait, I can go ahead and recreate that entire scenario, and a good line counter reel is going to help you do that. Now, on the rod side of things, that could be one of the most important components to this whole setup. And what we're talking here is a Legend Tournament walleye. It's a bounce and troll series, but the key part of this is both the power and the action. Now, the power is medium heavy, and that allows this rod to pull a lot of different baits, whether we're talking bottom bouncers or whether we're talking about these early spring crankbaits like this. But the cool part about it is the action. So this action is a medium moderate action, and what that means is that with this hard line on here that doesn't give, you've got a rod that does give. It's a little bit softer, and this rod's amazing because it's so lightweight while still having those soft characteristics that aren't going to pull hooks out of fish's mouths. And so when we're talking about pulling baits like this Rumble Series shiner or even the Rumble Series shad, you're going to have fish that come up and eat these baits, and once that line pulls tight, you don't want those hooks to pop out. And it's really key to have a soft enough rod with the medium moderate action that's going to help you to that end. So go ahead, rig yourself up. The tools of the trade are important, but the cool part is they're versatile. You can use them throughout the rest of the year as well. Whether cranking is part of your strategy to find them or whether it's part of your strategy to park on them and catch them, it's something that's definitely going to work for you in the early part of the year, despite what a lot of people think.